Hi, I wanted to welcome you all to the 9th Annual SOT Research Conference. We've been doing them, this is the 9th one. Trying to have a venue and an ability to share the different research, particularly what's going on clinically, because a lot of the problems are if we're not doing randomized controlled trials with these elaborate double-blind studies, a lot of times there's no place to really get our work out there. And one of the things we're trying to communicate is what's going on in the trenches, in the clinical trenches, in our offices with the patients we're seeing, ideally with the hopes of communicating to the researchers what we would like them to be interested in researching. So that's a lot of what we're doing. If you get a chance in looking at the program book you got, or the SOT Research Conference Proceedings, you'll see that there's a tremendous amount of work that we've done regarding TMJ and TMD interdisciplinary care. In fact, there's nowhere anywhere, I was in a chiropractor, or anywhere where there's this amount of interdisciplinary care with the treatment of TMJ. So look at it, see what's being done, and what I did was I have what we were covering in this year's conference, plus I went through from 2009 to 2016 and picked out some very specific articles associated with TMJ interdisciplinary care, and I put them all together. So you have over 270 pages to sort of just to spend, and it's wonderful when you're trying to get to sleep at night and you just can't. You just open up the book. After a couple of articles, you'll find, it's a pleasant way to sleep. I think you'll love it. I wanted to make sure to thank NCMIC. They've been supporting our conference every year for the past 3 years, and it's been a godsend. Their ability to help us, and I really appreciate it. Essentially, the papers from the SOT research conferences have been submitted to multiple research conferences. So while I encourage everybody next year to, and please start early, to consider if you have a case of something that you're treating. It doesn't have to be TMJ related. It could be any sort of related that you think would be important to get into the healthcare arena. And we submit them to many different conferences, both nationally and internationally. And then we take those after we've been submitted to the different conferences and submit them to journals for publication. So again, anyone interested, you have an interesting case study, you're allowed to do randomized controlled trial too, but whatever you want to do, it's really, I highly recommend seeing if you can get me the study and we'll start talking about it. If you need help with its write-up, I'll be more than happy to do that to help you. Anything I can do to help, I'll be here. So we've done quite a bit of research at a lot of different conferences. The most important one was the one we just did in Washington, D.C., in March. It was the joining of the ACC, which is the Association of Chiropractic College, RAC is the Research Agenda Conference, and the World Federation Congress. They have a biennial congress. It's the first time ever the World Federation Congress from all over met and joined up with the ACC RAC conference. And so there was over a couple thousand people, or at least 1,000, 1,500 people at this conference. And we had a wild amount of papers there, unheard of before. If you have one or two papers at a conference, it's really exciting and special. You have 3 or 4, it's really landmark. We had 22 papers and relating to SOT. And you can see a lot of people went and really, we probably submitted about 44 papers, and really they all should have been accepted, but you just don't know when it goes through the peer review process what's going to happen. The year before that, we had papers, we had 5 papers accepted there in Florida, and the year before that, we had another 5. So we're doing things to further what's going on at the different conferences. At the World Federation Congress in 2015 in Athens, we've had papers at that, and we've submitted to the Spartanburg, South Carolina IRAPS conference. Just recently, last month, Esther Romeda went to the International Conference on Neurological Disorders and Brain Injuries and presented 3 papers there in London. And we've had other conferences, brain injury conferences, we've had papers at that. There's a conference in Australia, and Tom Bloink said, "I'll go." And so he wrote a couple of papers up, and he traveled all the way to Australia. And when he didn't do that the year before, this is another one we had the year before. And then we had a Dr. Beth Dominicis, who works now at Western States, was with Southern California University of Health Sciences, and she presented a paper on the different different classes. Actually, Dr. Gerard and I are teaching it at that college regarding TMJ, interdisciplinary care. As far as I know, there's no other chiropractic college teaching it. We've had papers at the 2014 European Chiropractic Union, and this is the other one where Tom Bloink went all the way to Durban, South Africa for that congress. The one I did earlier in 2015 in Athens, he went to Athens. So he's the resident researcher, traveler, amazing guy. In Dubai, Christine Benner went all the way to Dubai and presented at the Low Back and Pelvic Pain Congress. We've had different papers at multiple conferences over the years, and we've had different papers that we've had published recently. So in general, what I really ask of you is to please consider supporting our research efforts. What we're doing not only furthers SOT and what we're trying to do, but it helps us further interdisciplinary care and our methods of care that go beyond of what is standard in chiropractic. A lot of what we're doing in chiropractic is to promote the treatment of head, neck, and low back pain and not look beyond that. And we have the ability to do a lot more than that with SOT and the different sort of interdisciplinary arrangements we can, such as with TMJ care. So again, once again, I want to thank NCMIC. We have a great opportunity to hear a world-famous speaker about TMJ coming up next, which is Dr. David Shirazi. So he'll be coming up very shortly.
Charles?
Yes?
Can I say something?
If certainly. Pick up.
Come here. This guy works tirelessly and so hard for years, and he deserves a little bit of credit here.
Appreciate it.
And, you know,
it's... I don't even have anything to give him.
No, I owe you more money. I'm involved with SOTO-USA. I'm involved quite a bit with NET research. And NET just did $1 million study, and it was the NET doctors themselves who raised the money to do it and all got together. I think what we need more in this organization and other ones is once in a while to find ways to contribute to make research happen. I throw a benefit concert at my clinic every year. I've had the fortune of being able to meet a lot of great celebrities and musicians, and so I throw a big concert and charge, and I get local restaurants and wineries to participate. We raise a ton of money, and it all goes to NET and SOTO and other community things. It's not that hard to do, and it's really good to do something to give back to your community, whether it's this community or your local ones. I support Parents Helping Parents. I helped resurrect the San Jose Blues Festival in San Jose. And it all comes back to you, way more. And Charles came to one. How much fun was it?
It was amazing. It was a lot of fun.
And so I'm just trying to say that this stuff doesn't happen.
Watching him run around and everybody just that forget about the music. The music was amazing.
But it doesn't happen without, you know, we need money. And if we're going to get research published in bigger, you know, venues, we need to come up with some money. So I just encourage everybody, you know, your heart, find something to contribute. Have you know, some kind of special day in your clinic. NET did that, where they picked one day, and every NET doctor in the world donated half the proceeds that they took in the clinic that day to the one research foundation. It was that much, half a day out of the whole year. And how much did that do?
For one patient. One patient.
If everybody got one patient, at least, you know, that would make enough to, because he pays stuff out of his pocket to go to these conferences. And he's I just got to say, because he's done a lot. So I just had to get my two.
Thank you. Thank you, Tom.
Cents in.